Okay guys, so I was just made aware that I'd actually reached the end of the question paper. I assume on part 1 of this lesson you noticed I've been struggling to go down. That was because I've actually reached the end of the question paper and I had to go up so that I can be able to access this formula sheet. So remember guys, this question wants us to calculate the age. So let's just have a look. The first formula doesn't have the age, and then the second formula, it has the age, which is represented by delta y, but then I can't use that formula because we haven't got a time. Remember, in this case, I'm mostly interested in finding a formula that has the age, initial velocity, and the time. So those are the most important factors in relation to this question. So this is the formula that I can straight away use and get the answer for this question. And remember guys, just because I haven't chosen this formula doesn't necessarily mean that in your approach, if you start with this formula, then you might get the wrong answer. You will still find the correct answer. It's only that you might take a bit longer, or you might be going through some extra steps. So that's why I'm confident that this formula will be relevant. So just write down that formula. Hope you can see. I'm not sure if I should erase that part, but let me just actually leave it as it is because I might need to refer to that information when I substitute in the formula. So remember, we're on question 3.3. so now we are calculating delta y, which is that h. It's equals to velocity initial delta time plus half g delta time squared. Okay, so we now substitute into that formula. Remember guys, object B was thrown vertically downwards and its initial velocity was 5.98 meters per second, previously calculated. So we substitute 5.98. I think in part 1 I've explained that because everything is going down, then we assume downwards to be positive. Otherwise, if I haven't mentioned it, let's just write it down maybe somewhere there to say down positive, up negative. So for this question, if we've got, for example, if we've got something in the upwards direction, then we'll substitute in negative. But then in this case, remember, it's thrown vertically downwards at that initial velocity. So it's positive because it's going downwards. And then time, it's always substituted in positive. So the reason why I wanted a formula that has time, it's because the height covered, it's as a result of this object falling down at an initial velocity of that and covering a time of 2.44 seconds. So substitute 2.44 seconds plus a half. Remember, gravity is also exerting downwards, so substitute it as positive 9.8 close into, and then our time, it remains the same, is 2.44 seconds. 2.44 seconds, and remember to square as you can see on the formula. Then our next step is to punch all of this on a calculator. So you can now pull out your calculator, open bracket, it's 5.98, close, open, 2.44, close, plus fraction button, 1/2 in brackets, 9.8, you close, you open, 2.44, you close and you square. Press equal sign and you get 43.76. to 2 decimal places, it's 43.76. Remember guys, the unit, it's in meters. Okay, so this is how you calculate for that height, which is let me see, which is, you can just say, write it there to say it's 43.76. Obviously we know height, it's measured in meters. So this is basically how you solve for that question, guys. The last part, obviously I'm going to show you where you score marks. And remember guys, this question was just allocated 3 marks. You're lucky that they will give you a mark for choosing the correct formula, obviously a mark for correct substitution, and the last mark for your final answer with the correct unit. Which means if you just write 43.76 and you don't indicate the unit for that value, you stand a very good chance of getting 0 mark for that final answer. So this is how you answer question 3.3. I hope you are now ready to do the last question, which is 3.4. It's also an interesting question, but then I'll just do a separate video for that. Thank you guys. My name is Desmond and I'm out.